Dr. Jane Watson never imagined that her life would take such a dark turn. As a respected psychiatrist at St. Augustine's Mental Health Institute, she had dedicated her career to helping others overcome their demons. But one fateful day, everything changed. It began with a routine session with a patient named Marcus. Marcus had a history of violent behavior and severe delusions, but Jane believed she could help him. However, during their session, Marcus suddenly became agitated and began screaming about shadows lurking in the corners of the room. Before Jane could react, Marcus lunged at her with a knife, narrowly missing her throat. Shaken but unharmed, Jane managed to subdue Marcus with the help of the hospital staff. But the incident left her deeply unsettled, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was at play. That night, Jane's sleep was plagued by nightmares. She dreamt of shadowy figures stalking her through dark corridors, whispering sinister secrets in her ear. When she awoke, she was drenched in sweat and trembling with fear. As the days passed, Jane's nightmares only grew worse. She began seeing strange shadows out of the corner of her eye, and she heard whispered voices echoing in her mind. Despite her best efforts to rationalize these experiences, Jane couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Determined to uncover the truth, Jane delved into Marcus's case file, searching for any clues that could explain his violent outburst. But the more she uncovered, the more unsettled she became. As Jane delved deeper into Marcus's case file, she found herself drawn into a web of darkness that seemed to envelop her at every turn. The similarities between Marcus's delusions and her own experiences were uncanny, sending shivers down her spine as she pored over the details. In Marcus's ramblings, Jane discovered mentions of a figure known only as the Shadow Man. According to Marcus, the Shadow Man was a shapeless entity that fed on fear, lurking in the darkest corners of the mind. But as Jane read on, she couldn't shake the feeling that the Shadow Man wasn't just a figment of Marcus's imagination. He felt real, palpable, lurking just beyond the edge of her consciousness. Haunted by this realization, Jane began to question everything she thought she knew about herself and the world around her. Was the Shadow Man real, or was she simply succumbing to her own paranoia? With each passing moment, the line between reality and delusion blurred, leaving Jane trapped in a nightmare of her own making. As Jane's mental state deteriorated, she became increasingly isolated from those around her. Her colleagues grew concerned about her erratic behavior, and whispers of her sanity began to spread throughout the hospital. Haunted by her own demons, Jane struggled to maintain her grip on reality. She began to doubt everything she once believed, questioning her own memories and perceptions. And as the Shadow Man grew ever closer, Jane realized that she was running out of time. In the depths of her despair, Jane made a desperate plea for help, reaching out to those who cared for her in a moment of vulnerability. Surrounded by the warmth and support of her friends and colleagues, she found the strength to confront the Shadow Man head-on, banishing him from her mind once and for all. But as she stood face to face with her greatest fear, Jane realized that the Shadow Man was not an external threat, but a manifestation of her own inner demons. He was the embodiment of her deepest fears and insecurities, lurking in the shadows of her subconscious mind, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. With a newfound sense of clarity, Jane vowed to confront her demons head-on, to banish the Shadow Man from her life once and for all. And though she knew that he would always linger in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again, she was determined to face whatever horrors the future held with unwavering resolve. In the days that followed, Jane's life slowly began to return to normal. With the support of her friends and colleagues, she found the courage to confront her own demons and emerge stronger than ever before. But deep down, Jane knew that the Shadow Man would always linger in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike again. And though she may never fully escape his grasp, she vowed to face whatever horrors the future held with unwavering resolve.